In this lesson, we're going to be learning how to add integers. So I'm using the presentation from our textbook so that you can see how this information goes along with what is in your book at home. Remember, you can use the book at home for extra notes, extra practice. You can bring those problems to me and I'll check them for you. And then this just kind of gives you a guide to where we're at. So this is from chapter 3 in your book. So if you want to see all these notes in person, go to your book, chapter 3, you'll be able to see them there. So we're asking ourselves, what happens when you add, subtract, multiply, and divide integers? Right now, we're just going to concentrate on the adding part. Okay, we're going to learn how to add integers with the same sign and how to add integers with different signs. So first part here, and I will let you know exactly what you need to write down. First part is adding integers with the same sign. So you're adding 2 positives or you're adding 2 negatives. To add integers with the same sign, you add their absolute value, and the sum is positive if both your integers are positive, and negative if both your integers are negative. So a way that we say this is if you have the same signs, okay, same signs, you find their sum. And you find the sum and you keep whatever signs the number are. So you keep the sign. So if they're both positive, your answer is positive. If they're both negative, your answer is negative. So sum, remember, sum means to add. Okay, so what I want for you to write in your notes is what I have written here. And then they have a couple of examples here for us. These are just like the models we learned the other day. You can see positive 3 plus positive 4 gave you positive 7. Both positive numbers, when you add them together, your answer comes out to be positive. Then over here on the other side, they have negative 3 plus negative 4 ends up being negative 7. They're both negative. When you add their absolute value, which is just the number, okay, just the number part, then that's the 7. And then the signs, they're both negative numbers when you're adding them, so your answer is going to be negative. Now, when you're going to add integers with different signs, you're going to subtract their absolute values. And then the rule for the sign and the answer is that it's positive if the positive integer's absolute value is greater, or negative if the negative integer's absolute value is greater. So what I want you to write down is when they have different signs, you take their difference and then you keep the sign of the larger number, of the bigger number. Okay, so difference, remember difference means to subtract. Okay, so what you need to write down is this stuff here. And if you don't remember that difference means to subtract, you're going to write that down too. All right, and you can see here they've got a couple examples for us. Let me erase that real quick so we can see. Okay, 9 plus a negative 4 comes out to be a positive 5. You can see with the models that we did the other day. But look at the rules. They have different signs. This one's positive, and that one's negative. So you take their difference, 9 minus 4, and then you keep the sign of the bigger number. Who is bigger, the positive one or the negative one? Obviously the positive one. 9 is bigger than 4. So our answer is going to be positive. Now over here we have negative 9 plus 4, and that came out to be negative 5. They have different signs, negative 9, positive 4. You have to take the difference, 9 minus 4, that would be 5. And then since the negative number had the bigger value, the bigger absolute value, our answer is going to be negative. So that's really all there is to it. So now we'll do a few examples so we make sure that we've got this down. All right, here's our first example. And make sure you're writing down the examples. So you can put example 1. Example 1. Negative 26 plus negative 17. Do these have the same signs or different signs? That's what you got to ask yourself. They're both negative, so they have the same sign. So we're going to sum. Same sign, sum. So 26 together with 17. 6 and 7, that's 13. 2, 3, 4. So these are going to be together negative 43. We got the 43 because we had to add them because they both have the same sign. And it's negative because they were both negative. So negative 26 plus negative 17 is negative 43. Next example. Determine negative 4 plus negative 3 plus 5. And you can see this is really two problems wrapped up into one. Whenever you have this, you go from the left to the right. So we start over here and we do the first addition problem. Negative 4 plus negative 3. Negative 4 plus negative 3 is going to be negative 7 because they both have the same signs. So you're going to sum. 4 plus 3 is 7, and they're both negative, so your answer is negative. Then we have the negative 7 plus that negative 5 that was left from before. Now we're going to look at their signs. Both negatives, so we know that our answer is going to be a negative. And now 7 plus 5 is 12. So our answer for this comes out to be negative 12. Next example. This is example 3. And we're going to do 5 plus negative 3. Check it out. This one's positive, this one's negative. So they have different signs. When you have different signs, you take their difference, which means to subtract. So you got 5 minus 3, that's going to be 2. So our answer is 2, and then you have to decide, is it positive 2 or negative 2? You look at the signs of the numbers and the value of the numbers. You have 5, which is positive, or 3, which is negative. Who's got the bigger absolute value? 5, and it's positive, so your answer is also positive. Next example, negative 3 plus 2. So this is example 4. Negative 3 plus 2. They have different signs, so we're going to take their difference. So 3 minus 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. And now we decide, is it a positive 1 or a negative 1? 3 versus 2. 3 is bigger, so our answer is going to take whatever sign that has, and it's negative. So this is a negative 1. Next example. Determine 2 plus negative 15 plus negative 2. Again, these problems, you always go left to right. So you're going to do the 2 plus the negative 15. They have different signs. This one's negative, this one's positive. So we're going to subtract 15 minus 2. That's 13. Now the bigger number has a negative sign, so it's going to be negative 13. And plus negative 2. Got to bring down the rest of your problem. Negative 13 plus negative 2. These have the same sign, so now you're going to add and keep that sign. So they're both negative, so your answer is going to be negative, and 13 together with 2 is 15. So our total answer is negative 15. Next example. This one's going to be a word problem. Now you don't have to write down this word problem in your notes, but you need to follow along the process that we're doing. A roller coaster starts at point A. It goes up 20 feet, down 32 feet, and then up 16 feet to point B. Write an addition sentence to find the height at point B in relation to point A. Then find the sum and explain its meaning. So we have to write an addition sentence, guys. Addition sentence. So we are starting here 20 because it said goes up 20, so that's positive 20 together with, now down 32 feet, that's going to be negative 32 together with, it says it goes up 16, so that's positive 16. So we have 20 plus negative 32 plus positive 16. We're going to go from left to right. 20 plus negative 32. 20 is positive, 32 is negative, so they have different signs, so you have to take their difference. 32 minus 20 is going to be 12. And your negative number is the bigger one, so it's negative 12. Then you have plus the 16. Now they have different signs. So again, we're going to take their difference. So 16 minus 12, that's going to be 4. And this time our positive number is bigger, so our overall answer is positive 4. Now we have to explain the meaning. Since it's positive, that means that point B is 4 feet higher than point A. Okay, remember a positive answer indicates higher, a negative answer would indicate lower. So please make sure that you've gone through and written down all the examples, and if you need to watch it again to get the hang of it, go on ahead and do that. Learning to add integers and subtract integers is a little bit complicated at first, but if you just watch it again, you'll usually be able to catch on. So watch this, take all your examples down, and then we'll get some more problems going in class.